Today on TimesCast, a ceasefire between government forces and opposition tribesmen fell apart in Sana'a, Yemen, renewing fears of a civil war. A first look at Wednesday's Times, the one banker on Wall Street sued by the Securities and Exchange Commission for helping to sell a mortgage-securities investment. And World Soccer's governing body, FIFA, is mired in scandal on the eve of electing its president.
Today in Yemen's capital, Sana'a, violence spread throughout the city much more so than it ever has before. Clashes between security forces loyal to the president and tribesmen loyal to the El Ahmar family, who are Saleh's greatest tribal rivals. There was a ceasefire between the two sides, which broke down overnight, and the situation there is war in the city and on the brink of becoming a greater civil war. Meanwhile, the protest yesterday in Taz, which is the biggest demonstration since the beginning of the demonstrations in mid-February, was brutally attacked by Yemeni security forces. They set fire to tents at the protest. They just completely laid siege to the protests from all sides. Taz has just become a city sort of engulfed in this violence between security forces and protesters. All of this is happening after President Saleh's proposal that would arrange for him to leave power after 30 days. Saleh said that he accepted this proposal, but when the time came for him to sign, he did not sign it. And after that is when the violence broke out in the capital in a way that we haven't seen before. My colleague Nasser Al-Rabi'i is in Sana'a, where he has been witnessing some of the violence there.
The violence here is getting worse and worse. It's now in what can be called a small war. People started to flee from here, from the capital. It's very dangerous to go outside at night. You can see the armed tribesmen everywhere and checkpoints. In the next few days, if these clashes are not contained, I'm expecting the country to slide into a civil war. This means that all the country will collapse into chaos and it will be like Somalia. And this is the big thing that everybody is concerned about.
My colleague Gretchen Morgensen and I are finishing up an article that will run in tomorrow's paper that focuses on Fabrice Tour, the single person from Goldman Sachs who's been named in a case related to the financial crisis. Indeed, the only person from all of Wall Street who has been named in a case related to the sales of those complex mortgage securities that put our markets at such perilous risk. Fabrice was very involved in designing and selling a mortgage security called Abacus 2007 AC1. It was a mortgage security that was put together right as the financial crisis was just beginning, and it's a mortgage security that lost a ton of money for investors. It was designed in part, according to the S.E.C, with input from a hedge fund manager who was short on housing. He had a negative view. And what the S.E.C said was that Fabrice and Goldman Sachs should have disclosed to other investors that there was this involvement of this short seller in the design. Some people find it odd that this young guy, he was 28 when these events occurred in 2007, is the only person named in this case. In fact, there are some former Goldman employees that I've spoken with over quite a while, and the way one of them put it to me was that he would never go to Fabrice if he had questions about those mortgage securities. He would go to someone else who worked above Fabrice, someone named Jonathan Eagle. Fabrice also worked closely with lawyers at Goldman Sachs, with a former ratings analyst, and it was very much a collaborative effort, our reporting has shown. So that raises questions. You know, when you work on a team and a collaborative effort, how do you end up in a case all by yourself?
The world governing body for the sport of soccer is in a lot of turmoil right now. Now, this is the organization that controls such things as the World Cup. It's a multi-billion-dollar operation. And tomorrow in Zurich, Switzerland, at their headquarters, there will be a vote to determine the next president of FIFA. Sepp Blatter is running unopposed at this point. He's looking for his fourth consecutive term. Now, Mr. Blatter is at the center of all of these controversies because there are allegations of vote buying both for the next president and also for the awarding of future World Cups. Russia was awarded the 2018 games, Qatar awarded the 2022 games, much to the dismay of countries like England and the United States, who had hoped to get those World Cups in their countries. The reason that a lot of American soccer fans are concerned about what's going on right now with FIFA is it feels that if the organization is not operating in a transparent way, then the U.S. doesn't have a proper voice at the international level, and it might not have an honest chance of winning a World Cup bid. If the United States can't win a World Cup bid, it feels like it's hamstrung in terms of development, endorsements from sponsors, cultivating a bigger fan base here in America.